Is this real or are we being lied to? I left the traditional banking system and I went completely against the traditional model and it worked. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I have done that. Now you have to think differently because there's a lot of information out there and there's a lot of distractions. So what I'm going to show you is the facts, figures, numbers, logic. I'm going to break down the reality that you're facing within your financial system. And I want to remind you that this is not your grandparents' or your parents' economy. I'm going to show you how large our debt is and how the money printing machine is turned back on as of December 1st, 2025, and money supply all over the world is picking up. So we're going to decide together as a group, are they lying to us or is this really, really happening? Are we going into one of the greatest golden eras that we've ever experienced? I do believe that's going to happen, but remember, I've trained you guys. What goes up must come down. Everything goes in a cycle. So I'm going to show you how I position myself to not only win in this type of economy, but also make sure that I'm not on the wrong side when this thing comes collapsing down, because there will be a pullback. I promise you, because there's winners and there's losers. So we're first going to break down all the positive things coming in. Then I'm going to show you the opposite. Then I'm going to show you how I'm positioning myself to transition into 2030. All right, so let's first dive in. So this is from the Kobesi group, the Kobesi letter. These are all the things that are coming. Now, remember, December 1st, 2025, which is today, they stopped quantitative tightening. Now, what does that mean? That means the printing machines are going to start to burr once again. So when you have printed money, remember, we've taught you this, your dollar becomes worth less. It's that simple. Printed money means your dollar is worth less. So every time they print, every time they lower interest rates, your dollar becomes worthless. I'll keep reminding you that there's only debt in the system, and I'm going to prove that to you. Okay. So the Kobesi report says we now have Trump saying he'll keep the stock market at record highs, $600 billion a year in Magnificent Seven capex, Fed cutting interest rates into 3% plus inflation, global AI infrastructure spending $1 trillion a year, Fed ending quantitative tightening in 2 days. That was Friday. He posted this, or they posted this, which is today. The quantitative tightening stops today. U.S. deficit spending 6% of U.S. GDP. NVIDIA larger than all but 5 national stock markets. That's the bubble right there, guys. That's the bubble that I'm talking about. And I'm going to share with you how I'm positioning myself to navigate what I believe is going to be a huge stock market bubble. Record corporate buybacks, 1.2 trillion coming in 2026. Trump saying he will completely cut income taxes in the next during his presidency. Trump promises $2,000 stimulus checks in 2026. How can you fight the momentum, right? Now, why doesn't it feel like it, guys? There's a whole, especially in cryptocurrency, there's a whole new wave of investors coming in. Okay, they're going to manipulate these prices. So you have to build a long-term horizon. I'm focused on 2030 and reverse engineering it to present day, removing my emotions and paying attention to this right here. We're at 38. Here's the reality that we're facing. So that's all the positive that Trump says he's going to do. But here's why he's doing it. Here's the reality that we're facing. We're at 38 trillion and counting in debt. Think about that. Look at this right here. In 1960, you're at 52% debt to income ratio. Excuse me. Went into the 80s, went into Reaganomics. We're at 34% debt to income ratio. Now, Reaganomics, very similar to Trump is going to take us into low interest rates, deregulation, cooling inflation, but they were positive debt to income ratio. Okay. 2000s, we're at 55%. We had the, I think that was the dot-com boom, right? 55%. Today, we're at 121% debt to income ratio. This is not our grandparents' or parents' economy. There's only debt in the system. There's no money in the system. Your income is my debt. My income is your debt. So that should change your thinking on how you position your hard-earned money to navigate this. Okay. So that's the reality of the actual debt. Here is the M2 money supply. Okay. So this is 2020. This is when they skyrocketed. You see right here, they skyrocketed money supply. Boom. We hit June 2022. They turned the printing machine off and it went into a free fall. And then boom, they've turned it back on. You see it steadily climbing. Each day it's starting to climb up, and that's around the world. Okay. So they're turning the printing machine back on today. Quantitative tightening ends. That means quantitative easing starts. Okay. They start adding to the balance sheet. Okay. Which is going to increase the debt. Then Trump is bringing in a new Fed chair. They're going to lower interest rates because of this. Guys, this is the US total debt balance. It is disgusting. Americans are buried in debt. Their savings are drained. The only way that America can survive right now, and this is not a good thing, guys, is to lower interest rates and allow everybody to remonetize their debt. A 50-year mortgage makes the banks wealthier, guys. Remember, there's only interest. You're paying it or you're earning it. We need to get on the earning side of interest. You gotta start to de-risk out of the paying interest and get on the side of earning interest. That's what we're working to do. We're not trying to get rich quick. We're slowly moving our debt down and we're moving it into assets, creating cash flow, moving it into assets, creating cash flow, moving it into assets that beat inflation. Okay, so that's a reality. Now, here's all the positive happening. If you can hold the line and watch paint dry over the next 5 years, you're going to do very, very well. Okay, latest Bitwise data shows institutional BTC demand continues to dramatically exceed new supply, widening the imbalance through 2024 and 2025. This is why I'm so bullish on Bitcoin, guys. There's a supply and demand issue. It's just mathematics. Around the world, treasury companies, there was one treasury company, Michael Saylor's MicroStrategies, that went all in on Bitcoin. He threw a Hail Mary in 2020 and it changed everything. Now we have tons of companies. Our company has a Bitcoin treasury, an XRP treasury, that are building treasuries now. They buy about 1,700 a day. They only mint or mine 450 a day, guys. Only 5% is left for the next 116 years. They're going to mine 450 a day. There's a supply and demand issue. It's the most scarce asset in the world. So that's where I choose to store my wealth. Now, am I going to get my biggest bang in growth out of it? No, it's about 50% per year. And that will come down as volatility decreases, as more supply or more people come into there and the volatility gets cut out. But about 50% per year is what I've gotten over the past couple of years. Okay. Where I'm going to get my biggest bang for my buck is the altcoins, alternative coins, right? The XRPs, the WFIs, which I'll explain in just a moment here. But this is the reality that you're facing. Big analysis says Bitcoin may have bottomed and a 100K to 110K relief rally is next. As I said on November 29th, it's back down to 85K. Blessings after blessings after blessings. Okay. All right. So check this out. New spot BTC ETFs finally flipped positive with 70 million in weekly inflows. BlackRock and Fidelity. Remember, guys, like think about this. Fidelity is the largest 401k holder in the world, and you're still doubting Bitcoin and you're still doubting cryptocurrency. BlackRock says Bitcoin ETFs are the top source of revenue. Okay. This is the largest asset manager in the world, Larry Fink. Bitcoin is their largest source of revenue. Let me say it one more time. Bitcoin is their largest source of, this is the very person that told you it's used for money laundering, nefarious activities, that their clients wanted nothing to do with it, and is now the largest holder in Bitcoin. And he's about to mention Michael Saylor right here. Remember the narrative that I've created for you guys? They went through the back door through MicroStrategies. They hardly decreased their position when Michael Saylor went fully in on Bitcoin. BlackRock is one of the top 3 holders in Strategy B. They are the number 2 holder in Bitcoin through their IBIT ETF. Bitcoin is the new gold. So listen to what he says about Michael Saylor in here.
And we used to bring in all these different people who were big believers in it, like Michael Saylor from MicroStrategies. I mean, Michael came to our office when the stock was in the teens, but he was a huge believer in it, transformed his company. I mean, I could just say all these different people came in and talked. And then we became, we became a leader in working with the SEC and trying to move forward in this. And fast forward now a little more than 18 months when we first started creating a Bitcoin ETF. Today, IBIT is $86 billion.
Jeez.
And we used to bring in all these.
Crazy. Let that sink in, guys. $86 billion. Okay. So before I continue on, I want to share with you guys the Freedom Conference. If you want to hang out with me live, Coach JV on February, 6th, We have our VIP event, and then we have our general mission. So it's a Freedom Conference. It is selling out very, very quickly, guys. I think the VIP will sell out this week. This is our amazing, amazing event where we talk about Capital DR, cash flow, appreciation, protection, and leverage, and de-risking. You get to hang out live at my headquarters here. Here's our amazing lineup of speakers. I am one of the keynote speakers. We get to hang out, very intimate. You're here. You get to see my studio. You get to see our fitness facility next door, our conference center. It's a very, very intimate event here. So if you click the description of this video down below, you can get your tickets live for the Freedom Conference, or you can watch it online live this year, which is amazing. So wherever you're at, all over the world, you can watch it live. The general mission part. The VIP event is a private dinner where I'm going to be breaking down my exact portfolios and strategies. So Freedom Conference, if you click my social media platform, boom, click the link. You can sign up for it right now or in the description of my video. Okay, so as I always do, no gatekeeping. I repetitively, incessantly, annoyingly repeat exactly what I'm doing. Here's my narrative and thesis that I've built. Okay, I invented what's called Capital DR. Okay, the traditional banking system is broken, guys. The 60-40 doesn't work anymore. You have to beat inflation. Okay, you have to beat inflation. You need to start getting out of paying interest on debt and start earning interest on assets. That's your number one goal. I don't care what you invest in, but here's exactly what I've done. I just want to share with you guys. Okay, I focus on cash flow, which is C in Capital DR. Cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. Income and cash flow are different. Income is what you get paid for trading time for money. What we do is we take our income and we buy stuff, and then whatever's left, we try to save. And the fact is 10% of the population in America owns the stock market. 90% are just trying to survive paycheck to paycheck because we're in a debt-based enslavement system. So you got to take your income and you need to create cash flow. Okay. So that's what I've done over the past 5 years. I keep creating cash flow. Okay. I created cash generating businesses. You know, I'd love to say they're passive. They're active, right? I actively manage my businesses. I run businesses. We have 6 different ecosystems. And so when the income comes in from the businesses, I work to create cash flow, which makes money while I sleep. Warren Buffett, 24 hours a day. So I take 10% of my income and I put it into cash generating dividends that spit off income, or would be cash flow. That'd be passive, completely passive. Today is Monday. All that cash flow hits the bank account or hits the brokerage on Monday. Okay. On Monday, I take my income. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays get paid for my companies. So any income I get outside of my 10% into cash flow generating dividends, okay, outside of debts and non-negotiables, I take it and I'm transferred over to assets, which is A. I use fixed supply assets, okay, that can't be printed. It's that simple. That's basically what I've decided to do, because they're about to print this dollar like crazy. Guys, I showed you the debt. You just have to understand, just lock that into your head. It is not a good thing that they're going to print money and lower interest rates. If you're paying the debt, it's great for banks. It's great for, Trump, and in regards to real estate, it's great for people who own assets. It's great for people who own the properties. It's great for people who own the assets. It's great for the people that own the companies, right? But if you're a consumer and you're a debt payer, it's horrible for you. They're just burying you deeper and deeper and deeper in the trap. Okay, so the assets that I use, I'm not going to gatekeep, guys. This is my thesis and I'm sticking to it. And I have many other cryptos, but I'm getting really hyper focused on these ones. XRP, the bridge currency for the world. That's what I believe. It is a major solve. Bitcoin, the new digital gold. WL is in Larry, FI, World Liberty Financial. That's my most speculative one because the DeFi platform isn't launched yet. There's I don't see in the roadmap when it's going to launch. So that's my most speculative, but I'm betting on that horse at WFI is going to be the new DeFi bank. So I got the new payment rails, well, form of the new payment rails. I love Ripple, the company. I got Bitcoin, the new store of value like gold. I got WFI, the new decentralized bank, and I'm stacking American Bitcoin now, which is the stock side, the picks and shovels. Okay. And I have many other, I have Solana, I have XLM, I have HBAR, I have VeChain, I have Algorand, I have all those tokens, but I'm just being transparent with you guys. That's where I'm getting hyper focused. XRP, Bitcoin, WFI, American Bitcoin, I'm sticking with it. You follow Warren Buffett style investing, you find out it's your circle of competency. Okay. I understand all 4 of these at a deep level. I understand banking. I understand how to run businesses. Okay. I'm an entrepreneur. I built 2 7-figure ecosystems, building my 3rd 7-figure ecosystem. One's going to hit 8 figures. And I know how to run businesses. So I get what the Trump family's doing. I understand their infrastructural. I can see the vision that they're creating. So that's how I make my decisions. It's called circle of competency. So I stick with yours may be strictly DeFi, right? If you're really good at that, then you probably should stick with that. Maybe yours is gaming and you really understand it. It's called a circle of competency. That's why I don't get wrecked, because I understand and I'm willing to watch paint dry. Okay. When these assets appreciate, besides Bitcoin, we're going to just move Bitcoin off into its own category like gold. We're just going to store it away. Okay. Assets appreciate. I take profits. I don't just watch it go up and down. I don't believe in that. I think it's silly. You should take profits. If you go to a casino and you put $1,000 on, because the markets are all gambling, dude. They're just emotion. You're gambling, right? So it's like there's just money moving through the system. There's a winner and loser. They just liquidated a bunch of money out of the market. Somebody lost and somebody won. That's all it is. Stop being emotional about this. Okay. You put $1,000 on roulette table, you win 2,000, get your 1,000 off and put it in your pocket as quick as possible. If you're winning on house money, take some chips off the table. Okay. Put it in your left pocket. So my left pocket would be insurance protection. I use cash value life insurance. Okay. These are not retirement policies. That's why the cash value life insurance industry gets a bad rap. People are setting them up improperly. They're not teaching you how to fund them properly. They're cash value life insurance. They need cash in them. They need money in them to work. The first 7 years isn't pretty, especially if you don't have money in it, because there's cost of insurance. Money compounds every 7 years at 10%. You want to get money into these, okay? So they need to be structured properly. They need to be funded properly. And they're like Lamborghinis. You need to drive them. You can't just have an agent set it and never call you. You need to look at them. You need to understand where they're allocated to. Are they growing? Are they not growing? But you need cash in them. We put cash in them for a couple of reasons. Ultimate protection. Nobody can touch my insurance. Permanent life insurance, fantastic, and a family bank, because now I have L in capital DR. I can leverage against my policy with no liquidation risk at 5% interest. So if I have 100 grand sitting in a policy that I have access to the cash value and I borrow 100 grand at 5%, the 100 grand still exists. My cash still exists and I can borrow OPM at 5%. Well, look at the markets I'm in now. I can get 45% after the 5% hurdle rate on Bitcoin. Or I could throw it into XRP for the next bull run, and I could sit and ride that out and watch paint dry because I don't have to pay this back. It comes off my death benefit. But then when it profits, I take the profit and I pay off the loan, and now I have free XRP and free Bitcoin. That's how you leverage, and that's how you make money on the interest side. Wealthy people use debt to become wealthier. The working class use debt to become poor. That's Grant Cardone. That's the simplest model, guys. So if we just keep it simple and we keep it stoic and we keep it strategic and we take the emotion out, and when it's red, you buy, and when it's green and greed, you sell, you're going to be okay. But you got to be able to watch paint dry. You got to be able to hang in there till 2030. Okay. If you're emotional every single day, I promise you, number one, you're over leveraged in an asset class. Number two is you don't have conviction and you're not in your circle of competency. And number three, you don't have a plan. If you have a plan and you're in your circle of competency and you can watch paint dry, you're going to do very, very well. That's exactly what we did. There's no emotion in this. We follow the plan spiritually, physically, and financially, and we put blinders on and we stay out of people's business. That's it. Okay. So I hope this information reaches your heart well. I love you guys very, very much. I appreciate you. If you need any support at all, I want to remind you, we do not invest people's money. I will never, ever DM you on WhatsApp, Telegram. Those are all scammers. People are using the Web3 shits. It's a scam. You don't need to transfer your money to a Web3 account. That's all scams. No influencer is trying to get you to transfer to a Web3 wallet. Those are all scams. We have an education platform called the 3T Warrior Academy. Worldwide Academy. I've been doing this since 2017. Academy's been around. We have 14,000 people worldwide. Description of this video down below. You can join the Academy. We have entry-level programs. We have mid-tier coaching programs. We have private coaching programs. These are education platforms. We're educators, not investors. We don't invest your money. We empower you to teach you how to fish, and then we fish right next to you to build a legacy. So I love you guys. That's Inscription's video, my social media platform. You can sign up to meet with my team to find out all about it. I love you guys. Warriors, let's get your shit together. Let's go.